Where the hell is it? They're so far ahead, it's not even funny. Yeah, this is really dumb. Okay, so look. So here's the thing. They're up 1.5k, and they're up a Drake, and they're up Void Grubs. Which means that they're also 1 kill away from feats. And feats is super big this game, because if you get feats, Annie and Wukong lose so much value inside of their engage. Okay, because everyone is getting almost a Giant's belt against Annie and Wukong. Kind of, right? Well, not respectively. Like, obviously, like, Galio's going to get it against Annie, and then Jarvan's going to get it against Annie, and then I guess because of the way Rumble itemized, he gets it against Wukong, Poppy gets it against Wukong, you know, whatever. So the thing here is that the mid tier 1 turret, right? So if we screen cap this fucking mini map, give me a second. That screen cap? I don't know. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Just lost a fight. Don't want the game to get out of control.
No, I'm going to screen cap the mini map. All right. So if we okay. So if we just look at this, which is fucking, this is like very zoomed in, fuck. But like, I obviously it's not higher res. So the thing about this is that let me use, I don't know, yellow. Is yellow good? Yellow, I don't know if yellow is actually good. Maybe yellow's good. Okay, so this turret, Omega healthy. This turret, Omega healthy. Okay, but then also in addition to that, it's 2 minutes until the next Drake, and all they need is 1 more neutral objective to get feats of monster slaying, and they only need 1 kill in order to get feats of warfare. Okay, so even if somehow, you know, FlyQuest takes fucking Herald and rushes it bot, crashes bot, you get tier 1, right? Because that's the one turret that is actually damaged. Who fucking cares? You lose feats of foundation or feats of first turret, whatever. That literally doesn't matter. The thing is that you're up 1.5k gold right now. You're up 1 dragon. You're gonna go up a 2nd Drake, and the 2nd Drake is also, I mean, it's quite a nice dragon, right? It's mountain, which is really bad for Annie and Wukong, and the enemy team composition needs to win a fight on their 2-item spike, but you're going to have feats boots, and then you're going to have item advantage ever so slightly, even when they have their 2nd item, and then you have a comp that is actually designed to beat Annie Wukong's 2nd item, right? Corki is like the one thing that is a little bit difficult to handle with the team composition. And then Corki is still something that's relevant at 3 items, whereas Annie gets stuck, and then Wukong also gets stuck until, you know, way later on in the game. So this whole fight, this whole fight that they take, it makes no sense. They get the flash out on Whippo. So as soon as this happens, we should, like, Mortea shouldn't even be here. Mortea should just go to mid, and then you should just go to top. You should just shove out the waves, because look at Inspired, right? He's missing so much HP. He's missing what, 450? He can't start Rift Herald. You just can't do it. You're gonna take so much damage from the Rift Herald, right? You're gonna tank a couple hundred damage. You shove the wave into mid. Annie has to go into mid, you know, or not Annie. Well, Annie has to stay bottom, and then eventually she's gonna have to TP into mid, etc. If in the event, you know, you shove in mid lane, you shove in top lane, eventually you're gonna move to Herald, right? Rumble shoves in top lane, Cassante has to go catch it, like whatever. That's all that you need to do at this point in time. The Rift Herald should never be started, because look at how, like, look at current itemization even, right? So you have Kayn Grickern on Cassante. I guess Rumble finishes Leandri's. He finishes Leandri's right at the fight. So you have Kayn Grickern on Cassante, which is ridiculous value. It outperforms Leandri's inside of the fight, just as a 1-to-1. It's just going to outperform Leandri's. Also, Rumble for some reason has armor boots, so he's not even itemized for maximum damage and everything else at this particular fight. You have Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. Galio doesn't have his first item. Annie is basically at her biggest spike right now. And then Corki, he has his Trinity Force, and yes, he doesn't really have too much more beyond the Trinity Force, but he's stronger than Kai'Sa at this particular fight. You technically also do have redemption advantage over Busio in this fight, or at least I think until he resets.
You can Inspired once, but they're in.
It is, right? It's until he resets. This should just never happen. Look at how much damage they're taking from the. Look at how much damage they're taking from the Rift Herald. Watch.
VKS in the area now.
Morteas takes 200, right? 300, right? Boom. Trimby takes a couple hundred. It's gonna hit again. Hold on. It's gonna hit again. Again. Even more damage. Look at that. Decimus takes like 300. There's so much HP that's missing. For what, man? For fucking what? For what, man? Why do we fetishize this fucking thing? It's because none of these players, they've never played a fucking RTS in their life. They have no idea what resource management is, or like probability and like these types of things. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's so great. Wow, we get 300 fucking EXP. That is fantastic. We get 300 EXP, and then we get 100 gold. This is so bad. This is like... this is so fake. This is so fake. Oh my fucking god. This is ridiculous. And then also, by the way, the killer, after you summon Rift Herald and the opponents kill it, they get this. Okay? They get this. So really, all that you're doing is you're getting the initial upfront. Like, this is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. This thing is so fucking bad. This is so fucking bad. Holy shit. Based on level. 20... Alright, so... Okay. Let's say it deals 27 to 2,800, right, on average. Sometimes 3,000. That is... I don't know, it's so crazy. It's just it's so ridiculous. I wish I understood Warcraft 3, because Warcraft 3 has neutral camps, and the idea that you would just do a neutral camp because it's provided to you by the map maker or the designers of the game is one of the most ridiculous things in the entire fucking world. It's one of the craziest things in the world. It's just not how, you know. I don't know. Let me see if there's like anything really cool on Artosis's casts that I can like compare this to. I don't even know. Probably not. I think this is DeWalt versus Flash.
Hey guys, welcome back.
This is DeWalt versus Flash. This is basically the best non-Korean that has ever touched the game. His name's DeWalt. He's from Russia. This is the best non-Korean that has ever touched the game. I'm not talking like talent. I'm just talking like in modern StarCraft 1. This is the best best. I don't know where DeWalt stacks up versus Chinese, but he's the best non-Chinese non-Korean. And in StarCraft, in StarCraft, it is not comparable at all to League of Legends or any other esport. Basically, you do not beat Koreans. You can't do it. If DeWalt played 100 games versus Last or Flash or like fucking Tai or like any of the top Terrans, right? I forgot Light, right? Like if he plays 100 games versus like any of the top Terrans, if they all played super serious life or death in every single one, DeWalt would maybe through an act of fucking God and like some cheese and like fucking whatever, he might win one game. And is the best non-Korean that the game has ever produced. So anyways, in this game, this game's actually pretty cool because it basically shows Flash getting his shit shoved in for a really long time and then just wins anyway. But League of Legends players would look at this and they'd be like, oh, well, the Protoss controls 80% of the map. Obviously, the Protoss is winning. And it's like, well, no, that's not how the game works. It doesn't matter that you control an arbitrary thing that doesn't actually have value. It doesn't matter that the Protoss controls 80% of the map when the Protoss is only utilizing 30% of the 80% that it controls. Like, it's just not doing anything. And then likewise, the Terran is controlling 25%. Or like whatever, like, or 20%. So it's like these weird things that it becomes difficult to explain to people who have never played games where things like this are a concept. Rift Herald and now Atacon in modern League of Legends, with the introduction of it, two of the most disturbingly misunderstood, overvalued fucking pieces of shit that lead to the biggest game throws, biggest swings, all for nothing. And a lot of it has to come with contextualization of, like, what are you actually generating from it? What can you get from the capture of it? What happens if the opponents capture it? You know, what do they lose while capturing it? The really funny thing is that even in that game, we're almost in draft. Even in that game, let me just show you something. Now, obviously, Fly wins the fight, right? Fly wins the fight. Now, let's talk about a hypothetical world. Let's talk about a hypothetical world where there's not feats of warfare on the board. You know, VKS aren't 2-0. Let's just take Team A and Team B, right? Let's say that Team B goes for the Rift Herald in a near identical situation, and Team A just shoves out minion waves, okay? Team A actually accumulates more gold and EXP than the Rift Herald. If Team B ends up missing a certain number, where the number is X, of minions, if it goes into the void inside of a turret, right? The EXP and the gold is not captured, right? Team A actually secures more gold and EXP. The problem is that there's no dopamine behind it. It's not visible that it occurs. This is the same exact thing with freezing, you know, 6 years ago when everyone called me a fucking retard. It's not visible. The effect is not tangible. You don't, you know, Atacon infuses you with his seeds. You know, and it turns into a Rule 34 episode. Rift Herald, you know, you get the eye, you get this big purple monster that you can ride and crash into something. You get to feel fucking some dopamine or something. And so that's really fucking what it is, which is really sad, but is what it is. All right, we're almost in draft.
Don't be like us where you just take every fight.
Thank you for my TED Talk.
You know,